Good evening, fellow Zimbabweans. This is your comrade, Blessed Geza, Comrade Bombshell. Last week, I laid bare how Kudakwashe Tagwirei stole Zimbabwe National Army companies, GDI and Sandawana, in broad daylight. No payment, no accountability. He hijacked assets worth 220 billion US and used them to loot 1.9 billion US straight from the national treasury. And when we say the national treasury, we mean your money. Let that sink in. $1.9 billion gone. All this while our soldiers earn slave wages, rotting in barracks with empty stomachs and empty wallets. So the question on everyone's mind is, how can such grand theft happen under the nose of the army? Why are some in the military whose companies were looted silent? Why are some generals who swore to protect our constitution silent? Yet Emerson Salutin Cabal is plotting to mutilate the constitution just to cling to power until 2030. This silence from some of the top brass is deafening. Why? Because some of them have sold out. Yes, some of our generals, once sworn to defend the people and the state, have traded patriotism for bribes. They now dine with thieves. They cash in while the country bleeds. This is not what we fought for. We fought against corruption. We fought for justice. We fought for equality. The Liberation War song, Zira Zema Soldier, was not just a song. It was a promise, a guiding light, a contract with the people, a contract these sellers have broken. We did not fight and die so that Emerson and a handful of cronies could feast while the rest of us are starving. Let's be clear. Mnangagwa has become the enemy of the state. The evidence is overwhelming. Systematic looting, state capture, and corruption on a scale Zimbabwe has never witnessed. One might expect outrage from the military, but not all have responded. The reason is clear. Some in the military, not all, have been compromised, but silenced. They've abandoned their oath and surrendered their conscience for cash, cars, and privileges. Last week, I asked why Defense Minister Opakashiri Muchinguri was quiet when army companies were stolen by Tagwirei. The answer is, the fish is rotten from the head. Defense Minister Opa Mchinguri Kashiri is pocketing $35,000 US in cash every month from the Uganandans to betray the aspirations of Zimbabweans. Aaron Nepera, the permanent secretary in the Ministry of Defense, gets $30,000 US monthly from the Uganandans. Some two major generals, whom I'm not going to mention now, are pocketing $25,000 each right? Brigadier General Monda, Commander Presidential Guard, is also pocketing $25,000 every month. Colonel Mangezi gets 10,000 US dollars, to name just a few. And that's just the cash. They are also showered with flash cars, fuel, farm equipment, while ordinary soldiers survive on peanuts. Let that sink in. They suffer, their families suffer, but their bosses are protecting the regime. This is why the defense forces are falling apart. Suppliers have stopped delivering due to non-payment. Soldiers eat rotten meat, bought at $15 a kg, while some of the generals feast on ill-gotten money. Even basics like bond paper have become a luxury. Sorry. The road is that deep. And now they've cooked up another scam, Agrifora, another hollow project by these Ganandas to bypass established systems and loot. This is not a defense force anymore. It's a feeding trap for the few, while the rest are ordered to shut up and obey. The fallen heroes should be turning up in their graves. They died for nothing. The land reform they fought for is about to be reversed by Mnangagwa in Tagwirei through their dubious title deed scheme using a parallel government structure. But here is the good news. The progressive security forces within the military are rising. They've seen the betrayal. They know the constitution has been spat on. They are stepping up and they are not alone. Mnangagwa is going and going very soon. There is no two ways about it. I urge all Zimbabweans to remain patient as the progressive security forces continue with their work to liberate you. They are on the ground. And a new Zimbabwe is dawning. Muria Zimbabwe, Dini wenyu, Blessed Geza, Comrade Bombshell, ndadzoka zvekare taakutaura nerurimi rwekwamai. Vhiki yakapera mhuri yeZimbabwe takataurirana kuti kuda kwashe Tagwirei akaba makambani emauto. Munoziva kuti mauto vanhu vanoremekedzwa munyika ipi neipi. Saka zvaitishamisa kuti Tagwirei akaba zvinhu zvemauto, mauto achiramba akanyarara. Sei? Right. Makambani acho ndakakutaurirai kuti kune inonzi GDI nana Sandawana. Right? Takazoona kuti mune uori kana kuti mune uori hwakawandisa huri kuitika mukati mevanotungamirira ministry yedefense kana kuti ministry yatinoti yemauto nevamwe vakuru vari mumauto. Saka tichakutaurirai mamiriro akaita uori hwacho. Right? Muori wokutanga anonzi Opa Muchinguri Kashiri, anova ndiye Minister of Defense. Opa muchinguri kashiri munhu anozikanwa nokupanduka even kwaanobva kuManicaland uko unongonzwa rongova bopoto rega rega haurirani nemaprogressive forces eikoko haurirani namakomrades echikadzi ari ikoko. Izvi auya nazvo kuti kumhuri yese yeZimbabwe kusvika kwamuri kuita zvimwe zvacho zviri kukonzerwa naOpa Muchinguri ari papayroll. Kana ndiri papayroll ari kupiwa mari mwedzi wega wega nezvigananda inoita 35,000 US dollars pamwedzi woga woga. NdiOpa Muchinguri uyu. Permanent secretary wake anonzi Aaron Nepera ari kupiwa 30,000 US dollars mwedzi wega wega nezvigananda. Vanhu vakatokepiwa nezvigananda. Pane mameja general maviri handiti zvangu vataura mazita avo, but vakasasiyana neunhu hwavo ndichavataura. Ndototya kuti vangaurawa nemasoja. Mameja general maviri aya ari kupiwa $25,000 every month. Uyu andaa kutaura uyu ndiye mutengesi mukuru, komanda wepresidential guard anonzi Brigadier General Munda. Ari kupiwa futiwo $25,000 every month. Munda uyu akavakirwa imba kana kuti akatsvagirwa imba kubhindura nezvigananda, akatengerwa mota inonzi Prado Land Cruiser new one. Mafarm implements ari kumapiwa papurazi raakatorera makamba apo nowati vakawanda munopaziva. Handiye iye ega ari kuwana mumabenefits including mameja general andataurayo maviri ayo ari kuitirwawo the same, right? Apart from mari yavari kupiwa, vari kupiwa zvimwe zvinhu zvakasiyana siyana zvinofanira nemafarm implements nedzimota nezvakadaro. Kuna atinoti Colonel Mangezi. Colonel Mangezi anga ari deputy commander presidential guard, but vaita makwikwi namhonda ekutsvaga dzvene kuna Emerson kusvikira vaitirana majerasi. Saka Mangezi wacho izvezvo haisipo, understand hameno kwaakakandwa ku3 brigade uku ndokwaanenge ava kushandira ikoko, but ari kupiwa 10,000 US dollars every month nezvigananda. Tose tinoziva, haizi secret macomrades, kushupika kuri kuita mauto edu. Mauto edu ari kupiwa $200. Mauto edu ari kudyiswa chikafu chisingaenderani nechikafu chinofanira kupiwa mauto, asi zvigananda zvichaja mari yefirst grade meat at $15 a kg, but mauto ari kupiwa nyama yepasi pasi, grade repasi pasi. Asi rinonetsa ndechekuti zveshuwa mauto enyu ari kukusarutai achiti mashefu edu. Imi muchitengesa mauto kuzvigananda here, kumatsotse here, right? Zvine musoro here nyembe dzemunhu anonzi Major General kana General wakati senior army officer, inyembe dzinotyisa, red ribbon inyembe dzinotyisa povo dzinokurespektai chaizvo, but moona kuti izvo muri kusacrifice mhuri yeZimbabwe ichishupika, right? Muchishandira zvigananda zviri kuluta billions. Imi muri kupuwa tuma 35,000, tuma 30,000, tuma 25,000 to facilitate zvigananda kuti zvive mabillionaire. Zvine musoro here izvozvo, right? Kusiya mauto enyu achigara haana mainforms, haana vakawanda vari kuloja kumarokesheni uku, havana dzimba pekugara, asi imwimwi muri kuita maplant runners ezvigananda. Zvine musoro here izvozvo? Iyi ndinoona kunge kuri the great betrayal of both the armed struggle nemhuri yeZimbabwe. Matengesa mhuri yeZimbabwe zvinofanira kugadziriswa, and tinokumbira kune vakuru vemauto kuti nyaya yakadai please inoda urgent attention, ngaigadziriswe. Hatikasiyi vanhu vashomanana vachiisa unhu hwemauto into disrepute like this. Zvinofanira kuti zvigadziriswe izvozvo. Hazvigoni kuti mauto edu, mageneral edu vave varanda vezvigananda. So ndinokumbira kana kukumbirisa chaizvo kuti isituation inoda urgent attention, right? Tiri kuzvigananda ikoko tiri kuona pane nyaya yeland reform. Vanhu ava naemhuri yeZimbabwe tiri kungosiya vachimboita madiro takatarisa. Isu tiripo sana comrade Bombshell kukupaiwo direction, but zvesho amongogara so zvesho vana Emerson nemasodza vachiita madiro nenyika yenyu, right? Land reform, vanhu chavakaendera kuhondo vakaendera kuhondo, right? Nyaya yevhu, right? Taita nyaya yevhu tikaendesera mberi chimureka chevhu ichochi, vamugabe vari vapenyu vakasiya vachipedza, vanhu vakapuwa vhu ravo. Uya Mnangagwa, right? Nanatagwirei vakuda kurivhesa nyaya yeland reform nezvimatitle deeds zviri feki. Saka isusu tiri kuti nyaya yeland reform iyi, zvimatitle deeds zvavo izvi musazvigamuchira. Inzira yekuda kuba, right? Magenzi eland reform, inzira yekuda kuba magenzi eland reform. Vanhu ava havagute kuba. Chimwe chavanoita, vanocreata crisis. Vanobuda votaura marodzi adai munyika, zvakati zvadai munyika, but mukada kuzviongorora by the end of the day, right, vacreata crisis iyoyo. Vanopiwa kuti vagadzise crisis iyoyo makambani avo anatagwirei, right? Zvakafanana nenyaya dzemarodzi. Marodzi akugadzirwa, takurova bed bridge Chirundu mashuka chaiwo. Zvino motikari muhighway yebed bridge dzinonyura muhighway yakakorogwa mbichana pakati pemasvingo neHarare, right? Mari inobva yarutwa. And chisozi chaanoita, ma-indigenous companies akawanda abroka because iye Tagwire wacho haana equipment, right? Anoita subcontract vanhu, iye obhadharwa mari vogovana naED, right? Vaya subcontractor vaya havabhadhari, right? Saka vabroka havachakwanisi kana kubhadhara vashandi vavo. Saka itsotsi chairo. Last week makazwa shamwari inonzi Tinoma Chakairi achinyepera kunge ari kuhwira tsitsi mhuri yeZimbabwe kuti kumahospital hakuda kumira mushe. Chatinoziva isu chokuti hama dzana Tinoma Chakairi hadziendi kumagovernment hospitals, vanoenda kuchihospital chinonzi Arundel chakereke chavakabira kereke icho ndokwavanoenda ikoko. Saka ese anenge ari manyepo ekuti vagadzirire pfungwa dzevanhu kuti vatange kuti kuluta kumahospital. Matauriro atiri kuita Machakairi ataura hapana kupera 6 hours Mnangagwa haasati agara nezviganana zvake pasi. Pakaitwa meeting pakati paMutuli Mvuve, Gwamatanga, Mangunja, uyu reserving governor, Tagwirei, right. Nobva vawirirana kuti mahospitals toita sei kuti tibe imwe mari. Nobva vawirirana kuti pafuel palita roga roga ramuchatenga imwe vanhu veZimbabwe vanenge vachitora 4 cents, right? 4 cents iyi yokuendesa towards nyaya dzemahospital. But anenge achibenefita ndiani? Plus mishonga yacho inenge ichibva kupi? Anenge achibenefita makambani akuda Tagwirei. Saka muri kuona kuti izvo zvinhu zvose zvavanoita chinongova chitsotsi chega. But ichi chinondishatira nechekuti vana veZimbabwe tenge takangotarisa tichingobirwa, tichingosafiswa. Isusu tiri vana vadiki patakaenda kuhondo taitaurirwa kuti we are our own liberators, vana veZimbabwe. Ngatiragei kuramba takangonyarara tichidyiwa takasvika sematemba. Let's do something about this. Zvino panyaya yecrisis yekumahospitals, uyu Tagwirei atova ne$300 million US, right? Yaari kuwana atopiwa contract yokusupply mishonga inobva kuBelarus. Tine inonzi Netfarm ikambani yehurumende. Ko why going through Tagwirei? Why going through a middleman? Netfarm basa raenderei? Zvino Mnangagwa akatoenda kuBelarus kunoona kuti dhiri racho iroro ratooiliwa. Ingaita nyika iyoyo? Aiwa, no, muri yeZimbabwe ngatiise pfungwa dzedu pamwe chete. Iwewe mutsvangwa iwewe iwe uri bhuru wangu, even kana uita sei uri bhuru wangu chete, but wakunyadzisa mutsvangwa. Inda kuti pese pawaisadhana uchiti ED wakapromisa upresident, but wazviona kuti izvo ED wako itsotsi. Hati kuona kuti munhu wake waanoda Tagwirei. Ndakutaurirai kuti izvo hakuna mucomrade anodiwa naED. Maiti ndiri kutamba. ED Ana pasa nokuti wamuitira chii. Right? Imboona zvatakamuitira isu. Imboona zvakaitirwa namageneral. Imboona zvakaitirwa nana General Chiwenga. Appreciate. Saka uchifunga kuti iwewe uri exception. Zvinoso mukadzi wako chaiwe ari munhamo kumaNicaland uku achishupwa navo pamuchinguri. Idi anodi kuzvimisa. Adi kuzvimisa izvozvo. Adi kuzvimisa. Ndoda kuti izvo iwe unyazo kudzikisa pfungwa dzako. Chirungu unochigoda shamwari yangu. Ndinoziva kuti wakafunda shamwari yangu. Asi chimbodzikisa pfungwa dzako umboti chaicho mhosva yakaita Chiwenga ndeipi? Mhosva dzaita vana Bombshell ndedzipi? Chiwenga akati idi apuwa poison akamubetsera. Mugaba ati aiwa Chiwenga ndoda kuti ndisiyirewe. Chiwenga akati aiwa. Akanotora idi South Africa kwaanga atiza achienda. But nhasi idi uya haadi kuona Chiwenga. Nhasi idi uya akutuma vanhu vane ma-AK kuti pamunenge maona Bombshell pfurai. Iwewe comrade, iwewe uchizvitsigira izvozvo. Uchizvitsigira ere pakabuda pachinzi wazodzi ndiwo wakusirwa naID taiti ndo zvauri. Hapana chauri kupfira shamwari yangu. Siyana nazvo izvi. Siyana nazvo shamwari. Protect shamwari yangu Monica uyu. Monica is being exposed to the powers of hazard. Ari kutukwa nevanhu. Mabhuru aID that matter. Iwo unoramba wakanyarara. Right? Ezvo vana opa uku. You know, vari kupa Monica hard time kumaNicaland. Vanhu vose vakapinda naMonica vana runyararo kumaNicaland vari kushupwa. Right? ED is doing nothing about it. But unoramba uchingoti ED. Uri comrade rudzisha vanhu. Unotinyadzisa wena usadaro. Right? Mhuri yeZimbabwe. Ngatirambe hedu tiri patient. Ndokukati maona zvimwe zvimingampinyi zvatakati chisakana nazvo muhondo dzedu. Inonzi revolution. Murevolution mune vanhu vanotengesa. Murevolution moda kushinga. Muri yeZimbabwe ngatishingei. Tava kusvika. Ndinotenda muri yeZimbabwe. May God bless you. May God bless Zimbabwe. Comrade Bombshell, last week I laid bare how Kudakwashe Tagwirei stole Zimbabwe National Army companies, GDI and Sandawana in broad daylight. No payment, no accountability. He hijacked assets worth $220 million and used them to loot $1.9 billion straight from the National Treasury. And when we say the National Treasury, we mean your money. Let that sink in. $1.9 billion gone. All this while our soldiers earn slave wages, rotting in barracks with empty stomachs and empty wallets. So the question on everyone's mind is, how can such grand theft happen under the nose of the army? Why are some in the military whose companies were looted silent? Why are some generals who swore to protect our constitution silent? Yet Emerson Slutin Cabal is plotting to mutilate the constitution just to cling to power until 2030. This silence from some of the top brass is deafening. Why? Because some of them have sold out. Yes, some of our generals, once sworn to defend the people and the state, have traded patriotism for bribes. They now dine with thieves. They cash in while the country bleeds. This is not what we fought for. We fought against corruption. We fought for justice. We fought for equality. The Liberation War song, Zira Zema Soldier, was not just a song. It was a promise, a guiding light, a contract with the people, a contract these sellers have broken. We did not fight and die so that Emerson and a handful of cronies could feast while the rest of us are starving. Let's be clear. Mnangagwa has become the enemy of the state. The evidence is overwhelming. Systematic looting, state capture, and corruption on a scale Zimbabwe has never witnessed. One might expect outrage from the military, but not all have responded. The reason is clear. Some in the military, not all, have been compromised, but silenced. They've abandoned their oath and surrendered their conscience for cash, cars, and privileges. Last week, I asked why Defense Minister Opakashiri Muchinguri was quiet when army companies were stolen by Tagwirei. The answer is, the fish is rotten from the head. Defense Minister Opa Muchinguri Kashiri is pocketing $35,000 in cash every month from the Ugandans to betray the aspirations of Zimbabweans. Aaron Nepera, the permanent secretary in the Ministry of Defense, gets $30,000 monthly from the Ugandans. Some two major generals, whom I'm not going to mention now, are pocketing $25,000 each, right? Brigadier General Monda, Commander Presidential Guard, is also pocketing $25,000 every month. Colonel Mangezi gets $10,000, to name just a few. And that's just the cash. They are also showered with flash cars, fuel, farm equipment, while ordinary soldiers survive on peanuts. Let that sink in. They suffer, their families suffer, but their bosses are protecting the regime. This is why the defense forces are falling apart. Suppliers have stopped delivering due to non-payment. Soldiers eat AG, while some of the generals feast on ill-gotten money. Even basics like bond paper have become a luxury. Sorry. The road is that deep. And now they've cooked up another scam, Agrifora, another hollow project by these Ganandas to buy anymore. A feeding trap for the few, while the rest are ordered to shut up and obey. Heroes should be turning up in their graves. They died for nothing. The land reform they fought for is about to be reversed by Mnangagwa in Tagwirei through their dubious title deed scheme, a parallel government structure. But here is the good news. The progressive security forces with the military are rising. They've seen the betrayal. They know the constitution has been spat on. They are stepping up and they are going very soon. There is no two ways about it. I urge all Zimbabweans to remain patient as the progressive security forces continue with their work to liberate you. They are on the ground. And a new Zimbabwe is dawning. Muria Zimbabwe, Dini wenyu, Blessed Geza, Comrade Bombshell, ndadzoka zvekare taakutaura takataurirana kuti kuda kwashe tagwirei akaba noremekedzwa munyika ipi neipi. Saka zvaitishamisa kuti tagwirei akaba zvinhu zvemauto, mauto achirapa akanyarara. Sei inonzi GPI nana Sandawana, right? Takazoona kuti maa mune huori kana kuti mune huori huri kuitika mukati mevanotungamirira ministry yedefense kana kuti ministry yatinoti yemauto nevamwe vakuru vari mumauto. Saka tichakutaurirai mamiriro akaita huori hwacho, right? Muori wokutanga anonzi Opa Muchinguri Kashiri, anova ndiye Minister of Defense. Opa Muchinguri Kashiri munhu anozikanwa nokupanduka, even kwaanobva kuManicaland uko unongonzwa rongova bopoto rega rega, haurirani nemaprogressive forces eikoko, haurirani namakomrades echikadzi ari ikoko. Izvi auya nazvo kuti kumhuri yese yeZimbabwe kushuruka kwamuri kuita zvimwe zvacho zviri kukonzerwa naOpa Muchinguri ari papayroll. Kana ndiri papayroll ari kupiwa mari mwedzi wega wega nezvigananda $1,000 pamwedzi woga woga. NdiOpa Muchinguri uyu. Permanent secretary wake anonzi Aaron Nepera ari kupiwa $30,000 mwedzi wega wega nezvigananda. Vanhu vakatokepiwa nezvigananda. Pane mameja general maviri, handiti zvangu vataura mazita avo, but vakasasiyana neunhu hwavo ndichavataura, ndototya kuti vangaurawa namasoja. Mameja general maviri aya ari kupiwa $5,000 every month. Uyu andakutaura uyu mukuru komanda wepresidential guard anonzi brigadier general Munda ari kupuwa futiwo $25,000 every. Munda uyu akavakirwa imba kana kuti akatsvakirwa imba kubhindura nezvigananda, akatengerwa mota inonzi Prado Land Cruiser new one. Mafarm implements ari kumapiwa papurazi handiye iye ega ari kuwana mumabenefits including mamajor general andataura ayo maviri ayo ari kuitirwawo the same, right? Apart from mari yavari kupiwa, vari kupiwa zvinhu zvakasiyana siyana zvinofanira nemafarm implements nedzimota nezvakadaro. Kuna atinoti Colonel Mangezi anga ari deputy commander presidential guard, vanhu vaiita makwikwi namhonda ekutsvaga dzvene kuna Emerson kusvikira vaitirana majerasi. Saka Mangezi wacho izvezvo haisipo, understand hameno kwaakakandwa ku3 brigade uku ndokwaanenge ava kushandira ikoko, but ari kupiwa $10,000 US every month nezvigananda. Tose tinoziva, haizi secret macomrades, kushupika kuri kuita mauto edu ari kupiwa $200. Mauto edu ari kudyiswa chikafu chisingaenderani nechikafu chinofanira kupiwa mauto, asi zvigananda zvichaja mari yefirst grade meat at $15 a kg, but
Tasbihwa kumango mo hekutambutswa na eman song moni emanyati. Tasbihwa kumakumo hekutambutswa na eman song moni emanyati. Simutama oko wangu kutenda muziki. Ndicha simutama oko wangu kutenda muziki. Geza, 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 simai. Geza, 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 simai. Tasbihwa kumango mo hekutambutswa na eman song moni emanyati. Tasbihwa kumakumo hekutambutswa na eman song moni emanyati. Simutama oko wangu kutenda muziki. Ndicha simutama oko wangu kutenda muziki. Geza, 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 simai. Geza, 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 simai. Tasbihwa kumango mo hekutambutswa na eman song moni emanyati. Tasbihwa kumakumo hekutambutswa na eman song moni emanyati. Simutama oko wangu kutenda muziki. Ndicha simutama oko wangu kutenda muziki. Geza, 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 simai. Geza, 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 simai. Geza. tasvitswa kum angumo hekutambutswa na eman song moni emanyati tasvitswa kum angumo hekutambutswa na eman song moni emanyati Ndichasimutama oko wangu kutenda muziki Ndichasimutama oko wangu kutenda muziki Geza, 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 Zimai Geza, 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 Zimai Quando tambutwa na Everton Moni emanyati Moni emanyati Tasvitswa Kumagumo ekutambutwa na Everton Moni emanyati Ndichasimutama oko angu kutenda muziki Ndichasimutama oko angu kutenda muziki Geza, 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 Zimai Geza, Geza Tasvitswa kumagumo ekutambutwa na Emberson Mondi emanyazi Tasvitswa kumagumo ekutambutwa na Emberson Mondi emanyazi Ndichasimutama oko angu upon the moment. Zimbabwe is up and seize upon the moment. So this is just a foretaste of what is our delight. For this is just a foretaste of what is our delight. For this is just a foretaste of what is our delight. For this is just a foretaste of what is our delight. For this is just a foretaste of what is our delight.
What's good morning to your business? Very good morning to you. This is your news network, themai.com. Type down there, tell us where you're logging in from. Type down there and let us know where you're logging in from. This is your news network, themai.com.
Just the forest state of what is our delight. Simbi Sandozi Sojo se. Simbi Sandozi Sojo se. Simbi Sandozi Sojo se.
We've just been listening to Blessed Geza, the war veteran. What did you hear? Right, so very good morning to you. This is joining us live right now on your news network, themai.com. Just type in there and let us know where you're logging in from. And just beaming to you live early this morning. And we have been listening to the war veteran, Blessed Geza. I'm wondering if people can see me. Can you all see me? You know, sometimes these systems can be a little bit of a challenge. And okay, here we go. Can people see me now? Can people see me? I'm just going to try and refresh the system. Just change a bit of settings, and I've I'm hoping that people can hear me. Makundin Zoere, please type in the comment box. I need people to let me know if they can hear me, because I just want to quickly greet all our viewers, readers, and listeners from around the world. And here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Can you now see me? Okay. Can you now see me now, folks? Can you now see me? I've just changed one small thing here so that I can just do a small catch up with people seeing me on the screen, and I need people. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, Loud Howard Adams from South Africa, thank you for coming in. Okay, quickly. So last night we had the war veteran Blessed Geza uh, making perhaps the lengthiest, the longest speech ever since the 31st of March demonstration, and the speech seemed to be quite passionate. It it was specifically focused on exposing, this time, for the first time, by the way, for the first time ever since Blessed Geza started his crusade of anti-corruption activism. And for the first time, Blessed Geza was targeting military characters or military figures, people who are in the military structures. There's several people that he accused. I mean, those were not just accusations. Uh, they seemed more as dockets, but they weren't just dockets. There was a suggestion that the people who are being named, something not so pleasant will happen to them. That was the tone with which he spoke. And for this purpose, there are two military characters that he said he was not going to name them, because if he does so, they could be killed. Anzi vachauraiwa nemasoja. Pane akapanzwere, Papa, did you hear that? What we've been doing this morning is replaying that speech so people can work around it, and we speak over it. This speech also related to government officials who are, Blessed Geza accused of looting money that belongs to the military. And one of them, the chief of them that he accused, is Opamu Chinguri, the Minister of Defense herself. And the accusation there was that she's profiteering monthly from the Ziganandas. Who are the Ziganandas? We Zimbabweans know already by now who the Ziganandas that he is accused. These are tenderpreneurs who he accuses as Wikneo Chivayo, Kuda Tagire, going down in that list. So, Blessed Geza made these accusations against Opamuchinguri, who is a war veteran herself. She's a well-known war veteran. She was Josiah Tungugara's secretary. Some people claim that she was his girlfriend, but he accused her of being corrupt, not just in this particular context, but in previous incidents. And Geza then made an announcement and told the Zimbabweans, promised Zimbabweans, that you are going to be liberated anytime soon. And he said that the members of the security forces are on the ground, they are busy, they are working right now. So, what else can I drop here? I'm wondering if I missed anything. If I missed anything, what did I miss? As I said before, yesterday's session was arguably the longest ever of Blessed Geza's uh, 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 nation addresses, and perhaps the most passionate, the most spiritual. Take What did you hear, Zimbabweans? Imim Makanzwe. What did you hear? Makanzwe, what did you hear? I mean Makanzwe. Okay, so quickly, what I would say that Geza should be criticized for is what seems to be a repeating theme. Yakuti military. Is the military the only method of restoring law and order in Zimbabwe? Dio here yega. Because there's so many other methods of doing this. And it needs to be said that while the Geza moment is captivating, it has brought a lot of people together. The conversation needs to go beyond military uniform, because there have been and there are methods of fixing the country that do not necessarily include what he talks about. I mean, for instance, I'll give you an example, Zimbabweans. I'm going to show you quickly here. The man who is running Zimbabwe right now, illegally, who is an illegitimate character, how did he take over power? Because he took over power not in 2017. He took over power, according to Grace Mugabe, he took over power in the 1970s, such that by 1980, he had the ability to remove the president, even though he wasn't a fighter. So how was it done? Was it done? Did he use military? No, there are other ways. Well, he was a nobody following the disclosures or the script that has been used over the time. Emerson Mnangagwa was not a member of the Defense Forces at all. He was not a member of Zanla. He was not a member of Zipra. He was nowhere near the fighters. And yet, he took over power. Yet, he was able to control everything from 1977. So is this not demonstrative in its own? Now, look, folks, we need to get this. And this is what Vana Geza need and everyone else need to understand. That what they're dealing with is not someone who has got military power. No. They've got other power. There's another tool, there's another method that they've strangulated the soul of Zimbabwean society. And it is that tool that needs to be dismantled. Now quickly, I'll show you here. If in the 1970s, Mnangagwa had come in 1977, coming to Mozambique, or even let's fast forward even in 1980, when he was working for the Rhodesia Special Branch, in the formative stages, in the earliest ages, if Mnangagwa had done that operation, making statements such as these, do you think that he was going to take over power? No. Mnangagwa took over power in a different way. He used techniques. He understood, him together with his group in the special branch, that power is not taken through force. No, no, no. It's taken through other ways. Power is not taken through other means. Of course, these that people tend to rely on because they think that this is power. Power is not necessarily power that people see. Power is felt. It's not spoken. Power is exercised. And that's what Mnangagwa did. He exercised power. How did he do it? People need to know. How did he manage to run this entire project? And how on earth has it taken 50 years for the liberation fighters to figure out the demon that hit them in 1977? Why are we here? Why are the people here? What is it that Mnangagwa uses to strangulate an entire society? Is it the bullet or it's something else? What am I talking about here? What I'm talking about, folks, is what I relate to as the numerous methods of fixing or restoring law and order in the country. And those methods have no association whatsoever with the military or anyone who is a soldier. I speak not just what I opinionate, what's in my head. I speak what I have demonstrated. I've also, over the time, showed people where methods, ways and means of fixing their country that do not at all involve members of the security forces. I have been privileged by, I guess, design and destiny to have been a part of ways and means of freeing people in the last 5 years alone, in the SADC region, Malawi, Zambia, Botswana, 3 countries in SADC that are surrounding Zimbabwe. 3. I worked about 5, 6 years ago with the now information minister of Malawi to expose and to dismantle the Mutarika state capture right until the new president Chakwera took over power. You see some of my interviews on the timeline there. If you Google, if you just do a search, you will see it. Moses Kinkuyu was in the United Kingdom at that time. Takachironga Chigemu Ichichi. And we did not have any connection. There was no connection there to anyone who is from the security forces. Nataura EAE. In Zambia, I was the last person to make a phone call to Edgar Lungu when he was about to abuse the military. At that time, I didn't even know where Zambia is, except on the map. I'd never been to Zambia. I had just studied. And I made that phone call, and just one phone call. And a whole president could not put the phone down for 22 minutes. just before being dismantled and ending up giving power. The type of conversation that I had with the president of Zambia it wasn't an ordinary conversation. If I had called him and I'd told Edgar Lungu and said, members of the security forces are going to do this to you, are going to, I don't know if that was going to help. But there's a specific wording that I use. There's the words that I use there. And those words, they took me more than 3 years to make up, to study. 3 years researching how to talk to a president while they are in the act of committing crime, while they're in the act of capturing a state and subduing people to war crimes. How do I have a conversation with such a president in a way that can free people? There must be a way that you can talk to demons gently but forcefully without a bullet being fired. And that's what I did on the 13th of August. My interview is there, which was random. And because I was on Facebook Live, people can watch it as raw as it was live. 13 August, 7 a.m. in the morning. No internet all over Zambia. So, yeah, the Tswanas also, when they needed to remove Masisi, I was one of the people that they contacted at the earlier stages. When President Kama also, even President Kama, was struggling and he was facing poisoning, I was the first Zimbabwean journalist to be contacted by him and to assist him. And we worked. There's a group of journalists who contacted me also to expose and dismantle the Hopo Chingono character of Botswana, who was confusing their society. From 2020, and that Hopo Chingono character is a man they call Frank Museveni. He was also trying to strangulate the soul of Honorable Job Sikala and compromise him. And because I had exposed him, so I was able to help them. And these journalists, people know them. Their lives have never been the same ever since. Small tips. I was not in all these are 3 countries. 3 countries. I was not a member of the military. I don't have any relatives in the military. I don't have any friends. I don't have any connections. But they're tips that we have assisted countries dismantle lawbreakers, wrongdoers. And it's the same thing that happened on the gold mafia when the Kenyans had exposed the first cluster of the gold mafia since 2002. And they couldn't go further because of corrupt money. I picked up this investigation in 2015, worked it from 2015 alone right up to 2019 when I made the second phone call. This time, these were phone engagements with Kamlesh Patni. The first ones were with Hubert Angel. And when that happened, no Zimbabwean ever contacted me. No single Zimbabwean ever contacted me to try and strengthen that groundbreaking investigation that deals with the financing of election rigging through money that has been stolen and gold that has been smuggled, that has been stolen from central banks of various African countries. What is making it difficult, not just for Zimbabweans, but for numerous Africans to attain freedom. So I want to say here, folks, that investigation, if there were Zimbabweans, they would have been telling me, Simba, we need to be, we need to use the military. And in fact, I actually did send them several messages and emails to the military, and it was never the Zimbabwe military, because I thought they were going to wake up. And no one did. I sent to Mangujga, who was then John Mangujga, who was the central bank governor. He sent me a text message on WhatsApp, and that was it. In the civil society, no single Zimbabwean ever contacted me. In even my journalists, there's no one who was ever interested in that investigation, which I had blown up. At that time, I'd not only exposed Hubert Angel in multiple ways, but I'd also exposed Kamlesh Patni when I lied to him that there is you've left a suitcase full of gold at the airport. You need to come and get your suitcase. And as a result of that investigation that I started, there's been so much change so far. And people, Zimbabweans can't even see it right now. All Zimbabweans are talking about is they're waiting for military. They're waiting for a soldier to, and you can't even see what you already have in your hands. That investigation. Did you know how much money was spent on that investigation? Zimbabweans are focusing on a small part of the ingredients that it takes to change their circumstances. And it's sad. Folks, no one from Zimbabwe ever contacted me. Right until when someone from people, guys from Al Jazeera started phoning me, asking to meet me. And I refused. I turned down. I sent them emails. I don't want to proceed with you. But they were so determined. These are foreigners who have got no connection to Zimbabwe. One of them jumped on a train, came up to Leeds, right to my kitchen window, right outside. And now this is not gonna shit. I didn't even, yeah. And these people were serious because they could see there's something in this investigation that I had done that can change nations. Right now, Zimbabweans, where I can tell you that you are failing is not realizing the power that you have in so many other ways of dealing with these lawbreakers. Amusukutombona, the power that you have. All right now, oh yeah. And at one time, just to show you quickly in terms of power, I went to an organization called the Interparliamentary Union. This is an organization that comprises parliaments across the world, and where I would meet Jacob Mudenda alone. Listen to me, alone. Ndiri Ndega. I managed to have a conversation with the Speaker of Parliament that turned into an interview, and straight from an interview, it turned into a law enforcement. And I secured for the Zimbabwean people the first international prosecution over war crimes. International prosecution that after Mudenda has been arrested, the next person who will be arrested is Emerson Mnangagwa. That document is there. It is a potent document, and is the reason why Jacob Mudenda cannot fly to Serbia. By the way, what I'm now talking about has got nothing to do with the Goat Mafia documentary. This is a totally different investigation that I was doing. But it was an investigation relating, once again, to the rigging of elections while abusing the military. Folks, I was alone. I did not have a bodyguard. I had no friend. I was in a foreign country, communicating with the Speaker of Parliament who had bodyguards, who had guys from the military and the state security of Serbia. They were armed. But with my document, Jacob Mudenda would run away from me physically. Kunditiza, I was powerful enough to chase the Speaker of Parliament straight into the airport. And the only reason why I didn't put him into handcuffs was because I did not have Serbian speaking lawyers, because that country, they don't speak English. Chete, that day, I could have locked up Mudenda because I now had a whole war crimes prosecutors stamped indictment for war crimes. Who do you think was going to be the next target? Soon after Mudenda would be Emerson Mnangagwa, Chaiye Mbune, Iyeye Wacho. After that. And this document can still be used today. Nasi chaiye. Kana paina anoda kupedza masports aya ndinokupa. You don't need Geza or a bullet to do it. You can do it. Why are you waiting for a soldier to do it? That is dumb. Okay, someone would say, Zimbabweans, on 28, 29, and 30 October 2021, at Glasgow, at the it was called the COP26 climate change, the United Nations Climate Change Conference, where Emerson Mnangagwa ran, and he akawanda mu hotel akasabuda at that climate change conference, just to show you Zimbabweans that these are powers that you have, and powers that you don't even need a bullet. Sri Lankans landed on Glasgow. There were 1,200 Sri Lankans in Glasgow, and there were only 42 Zimbabweans in Glasgow. And yet, the population of Zimbabweans in the United Kingdom is 600,000. The population of Sri Lankans is half that, if not even 200,000. And yet, Mazimba Kongagwine 42 jet. Or at that conference, while the demo was happening, one of the leaders of the group of Sri Lankans spoke to Mazimbabweans, and this is what he said. Akataura na Shepherd Yuda. Now you can see this live because this was actually said at Ndiri Live. This is what he said. You Zimbabweans, your people have been killed in their thousands. In Sri Lanka, we have lost more than 100,000. I think if I remember well, he said 150,000. And he said that even though 150,000 people have died, Sri Lankans have not lost heart. They are determined. And this is what he said. He said, here in the UK, Sri Lankans have prosecuted, physically prosecuted 3 ministers from Sri Lanka. Kutovasungisa kuprepare ma docket. Mu UK munomu. Munomu mu United Kingdom. Without any soldier. No one from the military a part of it. Just citizens coming together. And the fourth one, they secured the prosecution, but that person did not fly into the UK. Vakasungisa three maminister. Achipinda mu UK. Achiuya kubasa. Vaine diplomatic protection, vaine mapurisa. Vakagadzira madocket. Ma Sri Lankans, they did it. They had no connection to Blessed Geza or the military. They were just citizens. I'll put the video here and people can watch it. I'll reshare it. And soon after that, listen, Zimbabweans, you might say, Zimbabweans, why it was just a demonstration. In Zwaikama, Zimbabweans. Soon after that, Google and see what the Sri Lankans did back in Sri Lanka. Vakachipedza chimasport ichichi background. Vasina kana one munhu wekumaGhanas. Aiwaka. Kafunga ndiri kutaura kuti Google uona, you see the power of citizens when they make a decision. What am I trying to get at? Folks, do you know that those 42 Zimbabweans, when their number had been halved, they were now just about 22 to 25. Because others then left after the demo. That demonstration was in the morning and into the afternoon. And Mnangagwa was going to have a late night beer drinking session with his party members in Glasgow. The 22 Zimbabweans were just in that 22. They were able to scare Mnangagwa such that he could not come out of the hotel. Even though he's got security, he's guaranteed security by the British police. They would have protected him. Akachika Mnangagwa 22 maZimbabweans zvao. Haana kuchika Zimbabwe army. Haana kubushika masoja. Haana kuchika war veteran. Akachika 22 diasporans. Chete. What am I getting at here, Zimbabweans? See what the Sri Lankans did. The Sri Lankans who were there at Glasgow, 1,300, while Zimbabweans were just 42. Soon after that, what they then did back home in their country, they took over State House without a bullet fired. Now, I'm not talking here, if you tell me that what I'm saying is fake news, please, it's very possible that what I'm saying is just a dream. But hear me, I am giving you things that you can verify with a mouse click. See it for yourself. What am I getting to? Blessed Geza needs to expand his message beyond Kungoti Masoja. Anyone can do this. Anyone anagona visa munanga apana anyone anagona kusunga Mnangagwa at any time. At any time. You don't need Munokuma Ganas. The reason why people are just talking about Ganas. Inya zekuti maka murimuchiri mukaucha yekuchka. Learn from the Sri Lankans. The Sri Lankans did not rely on Ganas. There's the Chiwananas who rely on Ganas. Rely on the spirit of the creator that is in you. When you know that you have the same spirit of the Almighty that is in that person who is over there, you will not wait for a Ghana's person. You will not. You have enough power already to fix your own country. How many countries have I given you so far that have physically transformed their nations without a single, even a security guard? Where could force it? How many have I given you? I hope this starts to make sense. I start to boil. I really boil when people can't get this. I wonder how people can be on spaces and they're just waiting for a miracle. They're now treating Geza as their Father Christmas. Geza ndiano fanra like Geza ndiano fanra. Why not you? Why shouldn't we be on a press conference? Yakwe yoyo. Why shouldn't we be shouldn't be listening to a nation addressed by you? You Prince, you Shumba, you Tishaona. Why not you? Because Mnangagwa was not like Geza in 1977. He was just some idiotic ex-prisoner who had come from Rhodesia, who had been sent by the Rhodesia Special Branch. He wasn't anything, and yet he was able to take power. He didn't take power in 2017. No, he took power in 1978, 79, with not a bullet fired, but munyati and understanding that you have enough power. You have enough power. Iwewe pauri papo. Kwauri koko kumzarabani koko. Kwachivi. Kwauri koko kumazingo. Kubelt Bridge. In Binga. In Gwanda. Wherever. You have enough power. The Spirit of the Almighty in you is enough power. How many more examples do you want me to show you? Ndinokuratidza ipanapa indotaura zvinhu zvandinoita endokutauridzaiwo zvimwe zvinhu zvakaitwawo nevamwe not 20 years ago zvaitwa just ipapapa ndotokuratidzai vamwe vachona. If you don't believe Simba Chikanza, I will pick up the phone and I will phone them and I can bring them on video and they will show you how they did it. So I struggle with Zimbabweans who are waiting for the military security forces. Come on, you are enough a security force. You are more than a security force member. If you have the Spirit of the Almighty in you, maybe you've got the spirit of a dog or you believe so. But if you know that you got the Spirit of the Almighty, if you know that you were born for such a time as this, even though you don't have money, even though you don't have relatives who are privileged, you have the Spirit of the Almighty in you. If you know that you are more than anyone in the security forces. Right, so quickly, let's just hear people here asking or maybe making a contribution. Tichaona, drop something. Tichaona, come in. Tichaona, Mavamati Tichaona. Ndakurova imbama kama kusenana. Tichaona. I hope people are getting this. Yeah, we need to wake up our people. We need to wake up our Zimbabweans. We need to wake up people.
Zimbabwe, rise up and seize upon the moment. Zimbabwe is up and seize upon the moment. Zimbabwe is up and seize upon the moment. For this is just a foretaste of what is our delight. For this is just a foretaste of what is our delight. For this is just a foretaste of what is our delight. For this is just a foretaste of what is our delight. For this is just a foretaste of what is our delight. just a forest state of what is our delight. For this is just a forest state of what is our delight. For this is just a forest state of what is our delight. For this is just a forest state of what is our delight. Simbi sandozi sojo se. Simbi sandozi sojo se. Simbi sandozi sojo se. what is all the lie. For this is just a forest state of what is all the lie. For this is just a forest state of what is all the right. Dios en mis años y soy
Vitwa kumango mo Hekutambutwa na eman sonk Moni emanyati Das vitwa kumango